What up? This is Robert Horry.
Or three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Horry for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry from downtown.
Woo! It is a playoffs edition, man. We are full on into it. It is episode, let's call it episode 209 of this nonsense. Big Shot Bob podcast. B-Dog Brandon Harper. My name is Rob Jenners. That is 7-time NBA champion Robert Horry, who is probably working his rear end off during the NBA playoffs. I would imagine so.
No.
No, all right, I was just kidding. Okay,
no, I actually work tonight, so I'm interested to see what happened with these Lakers tonight. I work tonight. You know, when ABC comes in and has a game, I get the night off.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's nice. Get your night off anytime you can.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, goodness, boys, where do you want to start? Because there is just so much. We can start with the Lakers. We can start with last night's games. We can start with the Nico Harrison press conference. I mean, it's up to you guys.
Well, the Nico Harris press conference, was it really a press conference?
It was. I don't even know what it was, man. It was a disaster, is what it was. Credit to this reporter who asked him probably the question that I think everybody wanted to ask him.
Why shouldn't you be fired?
Well, one, I think I've done a really good job here, and I don't think I can be judged by the injuries this year. You have to judge from totality, from beginning to end. And so I think I have a really good working relationship with Patrick.
Okay, that's why you shouldn't be fired? Okay.
To me, that's just a stupid-ass question, man. Why shouldn't you be fired? I said, motherfucker, why shouldn't you be fired? They're like, I'm doing my job.
I mean, they're calling for his head in Dallas. Like, every time he goes into an arena, they just start chanting, fire Nico.
Hey, let me just say this. I want that arena to be packed. All y'all keep coming in saying fire Nico, because you know what that means? You can get riled up and go buy more beer. We making money, baby.
Yeah.
So it's just weird because, you know, I just, you know, and I think a lot of this has to do because of, you know, I'm friends with Nico. I love Nico. And I think a lot of people want his head because, you know, they love Luka. But, you know, Luka didn't win y'all a championship. So the AD won us a championship. So they should be over saying fire Rob. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Totally kidding. But no, it's just, I just think it's unfair when people want someone to get fired because you love a player so much and that you want them getting fired. Like, you know, now if the Lakers go out and win a championship, then you might be like, see, Nico? But man, think about it. Kyrie gets hurt. Even if they had Luka, Kyrie gets hurt, their season's over. You know, you can't lose a player like Kyrie.
But I also think, and you know, far be it from me to want anybody to get fired either, but we all at some point get hired to get fired. So, I mean, that's just the way that it works. It's not even just about the title, about winning a title, you know, this year or whatever. It is about the fact that, and I'm not fully blaming Nico because I'm pretty sure that this was above him. This was a decision. You don't make a decision like this unless ownership is involved, and ownership has the last say. So, but the fact that he's 25 years old, all that he's accomplished, barely in his prime, and you have a lot to look forward. You have a lot to look forward to as a Laker fan to what you could possibly build with him and build around him. And on the flip side with Dallas, Kyrie gets hurt. Like it's the worst possible thing that could have happened. Kyrie gets hurt, and somehow AD gets hurt. Mm-hmm. Well, not somehow. AD get hurt all the time. I love him, but you know it is what it is. So you have two guys who are really injury prone getting hurt in the same season. And it's kind of like, this is almost what you have to look forward to from the standpoint of Lakers fans know how this goes with AD. As dynamic as a player as he is, as dynamic as a talent, you know that every time he goes up for a shot and he hits the ground, you have a feeling he ain't getting back up healthy. We've seen it too many times. And I think that's what Dallas is looking at. It's like, dang, they get a 25-year-old Luka, not even in his full prime yet. And then we get on the other end of his prime AD, who we don't even know how long he's going to play or if he's going to play a full season every year. And then the Kyrie that's not getting any younger either. So it's like.
And now coming off an ACL.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just a big scope of things.
Let me give you the other one. So this is the other one that Nico's getting cut up for today and this week was him not realizing the importance of Luka Doncic.
Did the anger and outrage from the fan base, has that exceeded what you were kind of planning for?
Yeah, good question. I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level, but really the way we looked at it is, you know, if you're putting a team on the floor that's Kyrie, Clay, PJ, Anthony Davis, and Lively, we feel that's a championship caliber team, and we would have been winning at a high level, and that would have quieted some of the outrage. And so unfortunately we weren't able to do that, so it just continued to, you know, go on and on.
So he didn't realize how important Luka was. That's all.
He lying. That's a lie.
I think he knew, but he didn't know that they was going to be calling for his head like there are. And think about it. He's right in the sense of that if nobody gets hurt, and you think about that lineup he just gave you.
Oh no, he made a great point at the end. You're right. 100%.
And so I think that's what he was anticipating, that all the fucking schlepp rock shit to happen.
Right. Yeah, because he's right. If you throw those five out there, that's a solid starting five. To the points that both of you guys just made. That's a quality that you can put out there and not feel like you took a big step back. But yeah, you know, to Harb's point, there's still just a lot of question marks. And I think
traded your franchise player,
right? And that's what kills me is you can't say you didn't know how important he was. His face is in the airport. Like, I mean, everywhere you go, they got that man's picture around Dallas. They're wearing Luka Doncic jerseys everywhere. Like, if you've spent time in the arena, you know he's the guy. So, you know, not saying you didn't know how important he was to the fan base is bullshit to me, because it's like you were willing to take the bullet. Just say, look, we knew he was a big part of the franchise. We were willing to make this move because we thought there was a brighter future down the road with the group that we went out and got. At least own it. But don't just come back later and be like, well, we didn't realize. I just didn't realize people loved him that much. I have no clue. Yeah, no. They figured they were putting his mural up because they hated him. You know, what the hell are you talking about? Anyway. All right. Well, that was all I wanted to play from Nico, but that was all over the place this week. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, let's get into the Lakers, man. We'll talk about last night's games in a minute. A couple really good ones, actually. And so far, I mean, there's been a couple really good series here. I think that we all talked about and we all anticipated.
Yes.
I think there's been a couple that have been. We're going to talk about those two. Lakers Timberwolves, not a great start for the Lakers. Terrible game one. Got to see what happens now in game two. I'm looking down like through the numbers and trying to kind of like see what it is. Timberwolves killed the Lakers from deep. 21 of 42 from three. The 27 of those attempts came wide open, 15 merely open, and 0 against tight coverage from 3-point land.
But here's the thing, I wasn't able to watch this entire game. Work, kind of got in the way of that. But
happens.
They didn't just, not only did they outshoot the Lakers, they killed the Lakers in the paint as well.
Big time.
And so what did we say about this Lakers team? The playoffs are about matchups. Well, the thing about them is that they have no interior outside of Jackson Hayes. They ain't got no interior defense. So if I'm Ant-Man or I'm Naz Reid, or if I'm especially somebody like Naz Reid who, can get the boards and then, put the ball on the floor and create his own offense to a degree as well, I'm attacking the basket all day because the Lakers don't have any real size. They just don't. And so the way Ant-Man and them like to go into other people's buildings and embarrass them, let the Lakers lose game 2. It's over with. Because you not walking into Minnesota. You do good trying to win one of them games. But the way that you
gotta win one.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You have to split. I mean, you've got to split.
The way, the high that they will be going in
being able to sweep
Minnesota,
the Lakers?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes. And I'm not saying the Lakers will, but I'm saying the Lakers got to win tonight. Ain't no going to Minnesota down 0-2. and thinking you just going to come out of there and just walk out that building unscathed. Absolutely not.
It's possible, but it'll be a hard task. And I think when you watch the Lakers play, this is why I am a person who hates all the fucking switching.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because it creates mismatches, and you can't have mismatches. Take it upon yourself. You know, if you're going to switch, you leave that one guy open. He said, like, you go down the list of players. I know the Lakers tried this, and the guy had 28 points. He led them. What's his name? The leading scorer for them. Oh crap, McDaniels. McDaniels. And so they try to, think about it. McDaniels ain't shot like that all season. And I guarantee you, coaches, they have a game plan. It doesn't work because something outside the norm happens. Oh, scrap it. Let's go to something else. Try it one more time, because McDaniel was 3 for 3 from 3. He was 16 for 19 or something like that, ridiculous from the field. And you can't give him layups. You can't just let him waltz into the lane, get in front of him and rotate. But also, who killed him? Nas Reed was 6 for 9 from 3. That mug was shooting that shit like he was like fucking Klay Thompson.
Just lightened up.
And it was lighting him up. But and the thing about this game also, and I tell people this all the time, when you have a guard that's ball dominant and they start out good and they scoring, everybody else stands around with their finger up the butt. Think about it. LeBron had 0 points in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. And Luka was getting his, but it was giving it up too on the other end. You can't have that. Because now, you're getting yours, and you know what the other guys doing? They're on the defense end, they're doing this. The 4 of us over here resting. Mm-hmm. Now we got all this energy for the defense, for the offensive end. And so for me, they got to, yes, Luka is a great offensive player. But as most coaches that I ever played with, when you come down, you run a play for Tim Duncan. You run a play for Manu Ginobili. You run a play for Tony Parker. You getting 3 guys involved. Now the defense is, oh, shit. We got to plan for 1, 2, 3 people. Even when I was fucking Houston, you ran a play for Dream. You ran a play for me. We play for Clyde. You got, and to me, when you just one player, boom, 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 fuck it. Let them have it. Nobody else is scoring. Yeah. So that's what the Lakers need to do. You can't just let some guy come out and say, oh, I'm doing this shit. Because LeBron, he was useless. AR was useless in the first half of that game.
To your note, Luka had 1 assist in the whole game.
I thought it was 0.
No, he had 1. Posted 1 assist. So it's like, but I mean, you're right. I mean, you have to be able to, but you got to have the wherewithal if you're Luka Doncic to know, if I'm getting mine and I'm eating, then I got to move this basketball a little bit, because everybody's going to close in on me and the defense is going to close in on me. And if I can't move the ball, then shit, it's just going to collapse around them. Let me give you a couple numbers here for the importance of Game 2. Like Harper said, you don't want to just go in down 0-2, but only 7.4% of teams in NBA history have come back from 0-2. That's a bad number. You don't want that. You were one of them. But still, under 10% of teams is not a number you want to be on. When LeBron wins Game 1 of a series, his teams go 29-2, about a 93% clip. When he loses Game 1, his teams are 12-11. So it drops down to about 52%. So that's where you're sitting now.
Yeah.
You just, I mean, for a myriad of reasons, the numbers start to really stack up against you if you go down 0-2. Outside of what Harp talked about, which is you're going into enemy turf on top of that. The funniest thing from Game 1, and we'll move on to some of these other matchups for me, was Ant-Man going back and forth with the fans. Did you see the thing with Anthony Edwards?
I saw that. Yeah.
Some Lakers fan barking at him, and I don't know if you can make this out. I'm going to play it for you, then we'll go back over it. But this is Ant-Man barking at Lakers fans.
We got 200 million. We got 200 million. We got 200 million. You suck. We got 200 million. I got 200 million.
So he's defending Gobert, and he keeps telling him, Rudy got 200 million. Rudy got 200 million. He says it like 3 times. And then Rudy looks at him and goes, 3. And he's like, no, sorry, Rudy got 300 million. 300 million. And then when the fan starts yelling at him again, he goes, my dick's bigger than yours. And he runs off. I love the back and forth, man. I love that he's not afraid to get into it with the fans. Yeah, I mean, dude, they came in to, they came in and ate your lunch. So
Yeah.
we'll see what they got tonight.
Hey,
They came in mad. And that's what you have to do. Anytime you enter the series, you came in mad. The Lakers came in content. So you can't do that. Mm-hmm.
Big time. Speaking of postseason performances that it almost feels like we knew this was going to happen. Playoff Steph Curry has arrived.
Yes, he has.
Holy crap. I mean, just when you think you've seen enough out of him in the postseason, you're like, hey, he's probably winding down to the end of his career. He shows up and he just does what he did the other night against Houston. Warriors take game 1 of that series. Rockets had 17 turnovers. And that's like the story of the game right there for them. They dominated the glass. They had 22 offensive boards, and it didn't matter. Golden State just laid it on them. Sengun was really good for them, 26 points, 9 boards. But the circus shot that Steph threw up from the corner, that weird one where he was like falling out of bounds, and he like I think it was over Green. He like hucked it up, and it seemed to like go straight up in the air, and it came down. Kevin Harlan had the best call on that one.
Moody will drive. Sengun will defend. Curry's got it. He and Butler, as I said, 18 apiece. He'll dance. He'll throw up a shot. Oh, are you kidding me? Geometrically, that should not have happened. Wow, what a shot. Have a look at this.
Geometrically, that should not have happened. What a great analysis from Kevin Harlan.
I know.
But yeah, dude,
Hey.
I mean, Steph Curry. My goodness.
Hey, Jimmy Butler, too.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what, though? It goes to show you the young guys versus the old vets. You know, it was a defensive-minded game. I think it was 95-85. Jalen Green was nowhere to be found. You know, it's like, and to tell people, there are teams that are built for the regular season. There's a team that's built for the playoffs. And with the addition of the Butler, the Golden State Warriors are built for the playoffs. So everybody in their path better watch out.
yeah, they're young. I think that's what comes along with youth. And when you hadn't been in this situation and going up against a team that has been battle tested through and through in every way possible, that starts to rear its ugly head, because now, as much young talent as the Rockets have, you can't teach experience. You can't teach experience. So, and that's what the Golden State Warriors have a ton of. So they know how to operate when they start getting their backs against the wall in certain situations, and the Rockets just don't know that yet. Now, I'm not saying that the Rockets can't get a game out of this series, because I'm the one who thought that this series could be, much more competitive than what people thought.
They're the 2 seed. I mean, like, you're like, you got to look for more than that,
No, it ain't happening.
Getting out of the series with a win should not be the story about the 2 seed.
Hey, the Rockets be lucky to win one game, man. And I want them to win this series. It's good for the city of Houston, but they ain't gonna win one game, man.
You think they get swept clean?
I think they get swept.
Wow.
Yeah.
To your point about young, youth and inexperience, Van Vliet and Jalen Green went 7 for 34 shooting, 2 for 17 from 3. Just couldn't find it.
And plus, the media has put this game at the Rockets at a disadvantage.
How so?
Because the game is played at 8:30. And so that's really 8:30 Houston time, 9:30 Eastern. That's 6:30. So them dudes are sleepy. They go to bed at 11 o'clock.
Come on.
They still playing.
Stop it.
They ain't got no fans.
Just stop it. Come on with that. Ridiculous.
Come on now.
Absolutely ridiculous. Tweet of the week here for me. Sorry, hang on a second. Tweet of the week here for me was from Mad Max.
Oh, shit.
I know the Rockets fans are still trying to get over this Game 1 loss, but rest assured things could be worse. Imagine being a Jazz fan, sitting at home with no internet, no teeth, and no electricity.
Boy, he just won't let up on the Jazz.
He used the Rockets loss to take a shot at the Jazz. God bless him. God bless him. All right, more series to get to. One more thing, and then we're going to get to last night's games. Thunder Grizzlies.
See, is it really much to say?
I mean, they lost by 51 points.
I got something I got to say. Sunday was Easter. And for those who celebrate, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Jesus rose on the third day, and the Grizzlies got buried on the third day.
Sorry, I had to give you the gospel piano for this.
There should be no reason on any day, but especially on the day of the Lord, which is Resurrection Sunday, that you should lace up your shoes, touch an NBA hardwood floor, playoff hardwood floor at that.
Bring it home now.
And get dug a grave 6 feet deep, 8 feet deep, however you want, because Jesus was buried in the tomb, but he left the tomb. The tomb was empty. And then somehow, some way, they quietly place you down in that 6-foot grave, and then they put all the dirt over you, and you get buried by 50 plus points on a Sunday, on Resurrection Sunday. The whole series is over. Call it. Everybody go home. Amen, amen, and amen.
Love it.
Well,
That's all I got to say.
on national television, yeah, they got beat down. Beat down to the ground.
That they did.
So beat down, they didn't want to get up. And this day was the day you supposed to rise up. And they didn't rise up.
It did not
They
happen.
stayed down.
Preach, by the Lord. Preach, by the Lord. I'm going to bring you, and I don't agree with a whole lot of what Stephen A. Smith says, but this one rang true for me.
Here's what I'm not going to veer attention away from. You lost by 51. Y'all down 50 and you on the bench laughing? Nah, I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? You want to see somebody ticked off, especially if you're a fan, because you're emotionally invested. And at that particular moment, it gives you questions. It provides a question mark for you as to whether or not that cat's invested. You got vacation plans already? Because let me tell you something, that ass kicking that Oklahoma City gave to you, all right, it doesn't show any signs of letting up. They may not beat you by 50, but it is not beyond the realm of comprehension that they could smoke you by 20 or 30 the rest of the way if y'all don't get y'all act together. You do not want to see the superstar for your team on the bench losing by 50 with a smile on his face.
Yeah, they cut to John Moran a few times. He was giggling. And
I don't think Stephen A. has ever heard the saying that sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying.
it's true.
That doesn't happen.
I agree. I agree with him though wholeheartedly. You can frame this up however you want. I agree with him. If you're losing by 50, you should look like your dog just died, because you should not be over there cutting it up and giggling. I'm sorry, man.
There's no way in hell you over there smiling, you skinning and grinning, unless you up 50. I don't give a damn.
Even
that goes to show you what type of leadership, what type of character. I ain't trying to call it character of an organization. I ain't gonna point out the players, because it all boils down to who you put at the helm of that team. Who do you allow to say, hey, we don't do that shit here? If you want to be professional, this is how you be professional. And I just don't think that the Grizzlies, think about it, that team got a lot of fucking talent. And there's no way you let someone sit over there and skin and grin. And if you're the leader of that team and you see someone laughing, Joe, you go down there and you sit next to them and say, yo, man, what the fuck you laughing about? Look at the scoreboard. You think that shit's something to skin and grin about? Mm-hmm. And so you gotta have somebody on that team to say that. But if you look at that team, tell me what veteran on that team got the balls to even say something like that. Nobody, right?
It is, but isn't it supposed to be his team? Isn't that sort of the idea? Now, I know he's been in and out of the lineup and suspended and all this other shit, but isn't he supposed to be kind of the face of that franchise?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's the one doing it. So it's like, I think people are going to follow that lead probably more than anybody else on,
Sometimes the face of your team ain't the leader of the team.
That's true.
So.
That's true. But anyway, all right, we can move off of that. But
and then you get smoked, and SGA had his lowest scoring output of the year, and you get smoked by 50?
Yo, you get destroyed. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was. They were up by like 30 at like halfway through the second quarter or something. And it was a never look back. I mean, every time you looked at the score, they were up 40, they were up 45, they were up 50. It was like, oh, God. That's speaking of a team that may not win a game. Memphis may not win a game. May not win one. All right, well, let's go to the last night's games. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed the hell out of going back this morning and watching all the clips from the Nuggets-Clippers game last night.
Oh, but that was a good game.
Dude, because I didn't get to stay up. It was too damn late, but I went back this morning, and it was a slugfest, back and forth and back and forth. And I got to tell you what, man, Kawhi Leonard. It is nice to see Kawhi Leonard looking like Kawhi Leonard again, because he was, every time you turned around last night, I think he had 39 points or something last night, and he was all over the place. Every big shot, every time they turned around, they needed something in the clutch in the fourth quarter, he's pulling up from behind the line, he's pulling up from the field, and man, just a hell of a performance from him. And the Clippers got it done. They got that game back after losing game one. So
a little chippy.
Yeah, and I mean, game one went to overtime, so it wasn't like it.
I think the Clippers win this series because technically the Clippers should have won game one. That out of bounds call. Westbrook fouled James Harden, so and they didn't call it. And I think when you look at the way Zubac is able to get it done on that team, Denver is probably shaking in their boots right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, they cleaned up their game one performance because it was game one for the Clippers. Kawhi had 7 turnovers, Zubac had 2, Harden had 2, Norman Powell had 4, Batum had 2, Bogdan had 3. So it was one of those like, oh shit, everybody's turning the ball over. And that was the story of game one. The only reason they lost that game is because of all the damn turnovers. And then last night, man, slugfest all the way through down to the final minute of the game, 30 seconds of the game. Came down to that last possession, a little weird miscommunication, I think, between Jokic and Murray right at the end.
Which is odd.
Which is weird because you don't see that a lot. But part of me thought he was going to pull a Jokic. He had like a brief look from 3, and I was like, oh, that's it. And then he stopped, and I was like, oh, okay. And they didn't get it. They didn't get there. But man, a good series though so far. First 2 games, give me this series all day. I like this.
Shit. Yeah, they going home, and I think James Harden didn't have a good game last night. But
no, he didn't play well.
Hey, and they pulled it out. Let James have a good game at home. So, yeah.
Yeah, they when Kawhi is healthy, and it's always just been a win. I think a lot of people forget how dynamic he is and what he's done throughout his career. It's just the best ability is availability. And when he's available, he's shown that, hey, I'm still one of the best players in this league. It's just, bro, you're not available much.
Right.
Or you only want to be available when the postseason come around.
He's like a late season trade almost, because it's like he's not there all year. Then all of a sudden here come the postseason. He's looking healthy. He looks like he's feeling good. Yeah. And he shows up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude. I don't know. I love it. I like the series. All right, Rob, you think the Clippers win this one?
I think the Clippers win this one. Okay. I just think all the turmoil that Denver got going on with a coaching change and their bench is not that good. That's no disrespect to Westbrook. I think he
had a hell of a game one.
Yeah, had a great game. Yeah. I think Braun is trying to, what's his name? Brown, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I think they was expecting him to do more, and I think he's reached his echelon of talent, and so I don't think he's going in. There's no upper echelon for him. He's at his level now. He ain't going. This is it.
You've outkicked your coverage, as they say. Yeah. It's just funny to hear you pick the Clippers. I didn't expect
because it's because Kawhi. The way Kawhi's been playing this last month, he's been on a tear, averaging like 22 points a game, playing back to backs. He's feeling good. He's looking good.
Can you get him and Harden in the same game? Because it seems like he'll have a game and Harden will take a step back, and then Harden has a game and he's not really there.
I think so. Just because if Harden's not on, you still got Norman Powell. The way Zubac is playing right now, it's just. They're a scary team, man. The only thing that hurts them is when you go to that bench, it's like, okay, what's on that bench? And
dude, stop turning the ball over. That's my thing. Yeah, just stop turning the ball over.
They caused Denver to have a lot of turnovers. I think Jokic had like 7 turnovers in that game.
Yeah, I think that's
he always had a quad double.
Yeah. Let's rack that one up. Let's put that in the stats, Cat. Speaking of last night, by the way, Knicks Pistons.
That's a good series.
That's another good series. It's another one where I was like, Detroit's guy thought for the same time, Detroit's got to answer in game 2. And they did. They got back. Cade had a kind of an off night the first night. I mean, he still put up 21 and 12 and 6 rebounds, or 21 and 12 assists, 6 rebounds, but he had 6 turnovers. And then last night, like I said, they fought back. He put up 33 points, 12 boards. Schroeder had the tie-breaking shot with 55 seconds left for Detroit, and they got back. They got a win. They got to New York with a W. Now they get to go home and see what they could do in the homeland of Detroit.
I'm a huge Cade Cunningham fan. I watched the play. The only thing that makes me mad at him is he's so damn lackadaisical with the ball sometimes. When you play on a team that's gritty and grimy as the Knicks, they're going to bump you. And he's losing the ball, looking at the refs like, yo, man, this is the playoffs, dude. And that goes to that inexperience. I think he learned from game one, because in game one, I was like, what the hell are you doing, dude? He trying to split coverage and like you playing against elementary kids. No, these dudes are great defenders with the Knicks. So I really like that. I really like this team. I think, I think they might upset the Knicks, because I'm not, I think when you look at the Knicks and you look at Jalen Brunson, him and Luka are the same people. When they scoring a lot, the other guys don't do much. And then next thing you know, you're depending on him. Like, okay, we shut him down. Next thing you throw to another dude. Oh shit, you want me to shoot now? So
yeah,
when you got a guy like Cat and you just use Cat, man. Brunson, you can get your buckets anytime. You got to get Cat involved. Cat, get your big ass down on the block, go to work, get some easy ones before you start shooting threes. So
I think this could be a really, really, this would be one of the more interesting series, because obviously this is a place that Detroit hadn't been in quite some time. So I think the fact that they were able to swing home court advantage back into their favor, get one in the Garden, and now you go back to Detroit for the next two. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think you're going to see that building.
That building going to be lit up.
Yeah, because it's been a very long time since they've been able to experience playoff basketball, and to see their team.
Detroit basketball.
Yeah. So to be able to see them experience this, and to see a lot of their young talent, and see, JB Bickerstaff really turn this thing around and get their talent to playing up to where they need to in order to be able to compete, that arena is going to look something different come game 3 and game 4.
Hey, did Cameron Payne get hurt in the game? Because when I started watching the game, he didn't play in the second half.
I don't know.
I didn't.
I'm not sure.
But it goes to show you that I'm like, he had a great game 1, right?
Yeah.
Help them win that game.
Yeah.
And then you can't get on the fucking floor in game 2? Boy.
I don't know.
Damn, Tibbs, what you doing over there, homie?
You know how Tibbs do?
You gonna kill your damn
Tibbs
team.
throws his guys out and they run. That's it, man.
But that's what he does.
It's always been his MO.
What did we say? What they say about Tibbs? We said that about Tibbs ever since he coached Derrick Rose.
Run them boys to death, man. Yeah.
It is what it is. He in the playoffs, he gonna run you to there ain't no more cartilage in them knees. So that's the way he does things, and to his detriment. It's to his detriment a lot of times, and a lot of his players have said it. So he's never shown the ability to change his ways.
A lot of coaches
here's
don't.
the thing: as a player, you got to know your body. I'm like this sometimes. Like, yo, come get me. I need a sub right now so I can be effective in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there's any shame in that, right? Look, man, sit me for 5 minutes. Let me catch my legs, and we'll try this again in a few. The Pistons, for what it's worth, broke the NBA record 15-game postseason losing streak last night. So they had the postseason losing streak record, and they broke it last night with that W. And then the other series that are going on here, man, we got Pacers-Bucks. Pacers won by 19 in game 1, which I didn't anticipate. Bucks look like they might be getting Dame back, though.
Yeah, for game 2.
Looks like he's cleared. I don't know if he's going to play. Is he going to play game 2?
Oh, yeah, he's going to play. After the shit talking they did to him after game 1, with him on the bench and get ready to go at them guys, shit, he like, fuck this, I'm out there.
Send me out. Send me out.
I got the Bucks winning game 2.
Bucks never really got within about 10 points of the lead in game 1, too. Pacers got out quick, and then that was it. Siakam and Turner, both huge in that game. I figure with Dame, though, you're probably going to get a more balanced game, too, depending upon what he looks like. So
yeah,
we'll see how that one shakes out. Celtics Magic. I think we kind of all sort of figured this was going to happen. Celtics just overwhelmed them in game 1. Derek White.
The Magic started off decent.
They did. I think weren't they up at the half? I think they were leading at the half, or they were close, or something like that.
Yeah.
I think they might have had a halftime lead, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I've watched so much basketball the last 48 hours. I can't remember where my head is. White had 30 points, 10 of 18 from the field, 7 of 12 from 3-point. Tatum had 17 points and 14 boards. Paolo had a really good night in game 1, 36 points, 11 rebounds. I just don't know if the Magic have enough weapons to match up with what the Celtics throw out there because they're just so damn good.
They're so damn deep, and they're just so good.
And they're so well balanced.
They hit you with 7 different players that do 7 different things.
Yeah,
so.
you try to lock one down, and 3 other guys come at you. So I just think the Celtics are too well balanced a team for Orlando, and that's no slight to the Magic, because I think the Magic, I don't know, they slipped back from where they were last year a little bit, because weren't they 4 or 5 seed or something last season?
But they had a lot of injuries this year. Yeah,
they did. But they've got a decent young core in Orlando. I'm anxious to see what they try to add to it in the offseason, because I don't know if they get past. I just don't think they can get past Boston with what they got.
I think they need a really good point guard on that team. Because you got good 2, a good 3, 4, and you got Franz. Think about it. You got their spots. The 2, the 3, and the 4 on that team are solid.
Yeah.
So and so I think they need a good point guard, another guy who can provide some prolific scoring like Montero. So yeah.
Okay. And then the only other game that we haven't talked about yet is the Cavs and the Heat. Impressive wire-to-wire 21-point win over the Heat in Game 1. Donovan Mitchell, 30 points. Ty Jerome, 28 points on 10 for 15 off the bench. And Darius Garland throws up 27. So, yeah, it looks like it, man. Could break out them brooms, man. Break out them brooms. All right, let's talk a couple more things, and then we're going to do Big Shot of the Week, and then we got Black Crime, White Crime. Yeah.
We hadn't done that in a long time.
I know. It's been a hot minute since we've done Black Crime, White Crime. I'm excited. B, did you want to talk about the Hawks firing Landry Fields?
Yeah, I mean...
just as the Hawks guy, if you will. You're probably closer to this than any of us.
I'm not surprised, which is why a season ago they hired Onsi Salah, who was with the Golden State Warriors organization. They hired him. I figured they hired him to eventually place Landry at some point in time, which is what happened. Now he moves into the GM position now that I think the Hawks are looking for a new president of basketball operations.
I guess here's my question is, do you think that this is the first step of them moving on from Trey?
Maybe, possibly, or a way to try to keep Trey. I know they're still going to have a conversation with him. I don't know what's going through Trey's mind, and I know he's looking at it from the standpoint of look, it's another season of them in the play-in and then out, and then they're not actually competing for a chance to come out of the Eastern Conference. So I think this could be a pretty interesting offseason for the Hawks, honestly. Because Clint Capella's gone. He's a free agent. He's gone.
Trey's got what, one more season, then an option or something?
So he has an option. He has an option for next season.
Next season.
Yeah. So this summer they can really, I think, decide
if he wants to go. He can just. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's for next season. Yeah.
Okay. Rob, do you think it's time for Trey to move on from Atlanta? Or Atlanta to move on from Trey, however you want to frame that up?
You have to think about the market. And I don't think anybody out there really wants Trey. You think about what team needs Trey. Because Trey, they're going to ask a lot for Trey. And Trey is, he's a great player, but he's not a player that's going to really, move the needle for most people, because he's going to have to be on let's say if he was on a team, I can't even think of one.
What about somebody like Orlando?
I was going to say, you just said the Magic need a point guard.
Yeah, but is he willing though to share the rock with someone with? And don't get me wrong, I think
he's excelled at that, actually. That's the one thing.
He led the league in assists.
Yeah.
He led the league in assists, but When I look at assists, I'm thinking about take away the lob assist. I'm really weird about that. To me, I'm thinking like assists like a Jason Kidd, a Chris Paul. When you penetrate and kick it to the corner. Yeah, I'm not thinking about the lob assist like that because if you think about it, if you got a good defensive team, we know the East wasn't that good defensively outside of the two teams at the top. When they come over to help you, you throw it up to the bigs for lobs. So I don't count those and I don't trust those. Like think about Jokic assists. Jokic is penetrating, kicking, finding guys backdoor and all that kind of stuff. He really throws lobs. And I know it's a weird, really, really weird way to look at it. But when you deep dive into it, I'm like, okay, what if you're on a team like Orlando? Who's the lob threat on Orlando's team? Nobody.
I can't really say nobody. Can't do that. Because
name one.
I think Wendell Carter Jr. could become a lob threat. You don't think so?
I would literally have to look and see what their rosters.
But I also
But don't get me wrong, he'd be good for that team. But it's just like I would really understand if he, it's going to take him a year to adjust, like Spider. It's like a year to adjust to realize you're not just you're not the only guy on this team that can score. You got very capable scorers over, and you got to learn how to play team basketball. Think about even in college, it was all about him. You get to the Hawks, it's all about him. Are you able to adapt? I always think of Allen Iverson, one of the greatest players ever to play this game. When he left Philly and went to Denver, you would have thought he never played basketball before. He just didn't adapt well, where he wasn't the man all the time. That's all I'm saying. So
okay,
yeah, but I do think outside of the lob assist, and I hear what you're saying when it comes to that. He's created a lot for guys. He's made some really, really good passes in transition, some really good outlet passes. So all of his assists aren't obviously he's had, Capella, who's not much of an offensive threat. So a lot of that is coming from lobs. But he's really one of the Hawks were the fifth best offensive team in basketball when it came to scoring. And a lot of that had to come from the fact that they like to get out and run. And so when you're in transition, Trey has done a really good job of being able to look for guys as they're running the floor. Whether it was Jalen Johnson, obviously he was hurt. But with this very, very young team, and they're pretty athletic, they like to get out and run. So Trey was able to find a lot of guys as they were running. So a lot of the assists didn't come from lobs. It really came from just really finding guys and setting them up to knock down shots. And I think that's something that he could do well for pretty much. If he could do that here in Atlanta, I think these assists will be much more meaningful, I guess, somewhere, if he's going to go, be much more meaningful somewhere else that may have a little bit better talent.
How is he, like I don't watch the Atlanta Hawks enough. How is he off the ball?
I mean, to a degree, there is movement. He does move decent without the ball. Now, obviously, for the most part, he's going to have the ball in his hands as a point guard. He's gotten better off the ball. I'm not saying he's great, but he has gotten better. But I think the better the team that he goes to, the better that could look. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think what he does would be more beneficial somewhere else that probably had a little bit more talent and maybe a little bit more star power that could go along with him. And I know Jalen was out most of this year, and I love Jalen. I love his development. But at some point in time, if management isn't going to really do things to bring more in to help you out, the Hawks are in purgatory. They've been that way.
They've been stuck there since the Eastern Conference Finals run. That's where they've been. Yeah. So at some point you got to move.
Dominique left?
Nah.
Yes and no though. You've had a lot of even when the Hawks were. You look at what was it? Damn, what was the years? Was it 14 and 15?
14-15 when they won 60 games.
They won 60 plus games, and guess what happened? Nothing.
They got swept by LeBron.
It's like so. Even when you're that good, you're still not good enough to get over the hump. So. Look, here the point is Atlanta's going to have to do something sooner or later to get out of purgatory.
I just can never understand why Atlanta can't get players to come play there, man.
Because they don't spend money.
And management. Yeah, man, and the management's not great. And it's never been great.
You think about you go down a list of dudes that live in Atlanta in the offseason.
You don't have to make the argument. Trust me, this is literally Atlanta Sports Talk Radio has been making this argument to the league for as long as I've worked here. So I mean, I'm in here 20 years and they've been banging that drum.
If I didn't get drafted by Houston, I would have lived in Atlanta. But shit, I'm like, damn.
That's all right.
I love ATL.
Wait, what's that?
Cool.
You went to Houston. That's cool, man. No state
guys
tax.
can love the city, but you got to be able to love the franchise that you play for.
And you got to be able to love the management, and you got to be able to have belief in the GM, which they have never had, it seems like.
Rob, go in your backyard and dig up that canister and let's buy the Hawks, man.
Huh.
I can be the GM.
You're talking to yourself, right? As far as
I'm talking to you.
Bullshit. If anybody got a canister buried in their backyard, it's your ass. It ain't me. All right? It ain't me. I tell you that right now. But dude, I'm with you, man. Let's get an ownership group together. I'll throw in $50. Let's get an ownership group going. Call Shaquille. Get somebody on the phone, man. Something.
Hey, you came by was not up for sale.
Well,
that's not true. Everything's for sale.
Everything for the right price.
I guess so.
For the right price, everything's for sale.
Yeah, but how high you want to go?
Exactly. You want to put Tillman money on it, like he played for the Rockets. I guarantee they'll sell them Hawks.
Yeah, really.
Well,
prayers up. We mentioned him last week, and then we didn't know. I texted you guys this too. Prayers up to Pop.
Yeah.
Right after Rob sent him some well wishes last week, we found out he had a medical emergency. He was out at dinner, but he's home and he's stable. According to reports, he's doing fine. So that's good, but that's scary, man. When when he's recovering from his stroke and he goes out to dinner and immediately they have to take him out of the restaurant in an ambulance. It scares the hell out of you when you see that stuff.
Rob, what did we talk about last episode? Look, bro, you know Pop. You know Pop way better than both of us, and you know Pop way better than most. But it just seems like I don't want to see, and that's just him going out to eat. I don't want Pop to step back into the stresses of being a head coach in the NBA. I don't. I mean, that's tough.
When stuff like this goes down, you wonder. You're like, well, does he have that in him still physically? You know what I mean? It's just I'm with you.
This setback might say, hey,
it's time.
We just gonna chill.
It's time, man. Enjoy what you have of your life. You know what I mean? Don't. God bless.
He has grandkids, doesn't he?
I don't know. He just has one daughter. I don't know if she had kids yet.
Okay.
But I mean, look. Point is, he's lived a very great life, and he's had one of the best coaching careers in NBA history. I don't think you have anything left to prove, man. You know what I mean? And I get your point, Harp, when you said last week when you're like, when you got a player like Wembanyama, you're in every piece of you goes, well, I want to go back and look what I got there. Why would I walk away from that? So I get that. But yeah, at some point, man, take some stock and just go, it's time. It's okay. And it's okay. You're not doing it with any shame. Everybody loves you. Again, Hall of Fame, all-time coaching career. It's cool to walk away. But if he's got that kind of stress on his body, man, I think might just be time. All right, let me do a real quick big shot.
Here's a 5-year-old grandson.
5-year-old grandson. There you go.
Yeah, bro.
There's a reason.
Take some time out. Yeah, take some time out to spend time with your grandson. Is young. It's a baby. Go spend some time with your grandson, man.
Let's do a quick big shot of the week, and then we're gonna play Black Crime and White Crime. Yeah, it's back. Big shot of the week is gonna go to Braves pitcher Chris Sale. You okay, Rob? You all right there, bud?
Yeah, my ears were itching.
Oh, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Took his headsets off. I thought you were calling it I gave big shot of the week to a Braves pitcher. I thought you were calling it off. You're like, nope, that's it. We're done. Takes his headsets off and he storms out. No, Chris Sale was up here at the radio station yesterday, and I got to spend some time with Chris. So this is why I'm giving him big shot of the week. He was here to work with a client, a dude named Ken Nugent, who's a big advertiser here in Atlanta. He's an attorney. He does a lot of stuff with the Braves Network. And Chris came up here. And you never know when you meet an athlete what to expect from them. Like, you just don't know. Like, when we first met Rob, I was like, I think he's an asshole. Turns out he was actually a raging asshole. But we've tamed him, and we've made him, no, I'm kidding, one of the nicest men on the planet. But when we met Chris, I was like, I don't know what to expect. So they were outside filming some stuff out in the Battery before they came up to cut the commercials here in the studio. And a couple of kids saw him and recognized him, came running up and asked if they could get a picture. And Chris goes, you know what? Stay right here. I'll be right back. He runs to his car. He gets his wallet. He comes back. He buys both the kids' Braves jerseys. Comes out with the kid, signs the jerseys for him, and spends about 10 minutes with the kids, pitching tips, showing them how to throw a curveball, all this stuff. Like, indulged these kids for like 10, 15 minutes in the middle of a client shoot, a video shoot. Like, there's a client there. He's getting paid to be there. And he just went numb. He's like, look, man, I'm out a lot. Not a lot of people recognize me out because you just don't. You know what I mean? Like, if Chris Sale won the Cy Young last year, if he walked past me, I'd be like, he looks vaguely familiar. And I work for the team. So those two kids, he's like, I don't get a lot of that. He goes, so when I see two kids come up and they want to spend time with me, I want to spend time with them. So
that's dope.
It's the little things. And I know, Rob, you do this a lot. I know Shaquille does this a lot. I saw Chris Sale do it yesterday. When you can spend 5 minutes with somebody and just, that's something that will make their life. Like, they will remember that forever. They will be telling their kids stories about Chris Sale going and buying them jerseys at the Battery and signing their jerseys and giving them, like, that shit that carries with people for the rest of their life. And it took him 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And I've seen you do it. I've seen Shaquille do it. And I think anybody who is blessed to have the careers and the lives that you guys have should learn from people like you guys to do that stuff.
Hey, what kind of car Chris Sales drive?
I don't know. It's a great question.
If he keeps his wallet in the car, I'm like, dude,
but
what are you doing?
He parks in the players' parking. It's not like it's a public lot. Like, it ain't like he parks under the stadium, for Christ's sake.
That thing is more secure than most places.
Yeah, like you can't get in there for nothing. So, yeah, but I just big shout of the week.
Oh yeah,
goes
big
to
shout.
Chris Sale.
Especially to go
I just
buy
thought
the
that
jerseys.
Dude, it was awesome.
Most dudes be like, man, I got a picture in the car. If that he went to his car, did all that, and bought jerseys, I'd have been in them like, yo, man, hey, I'm Robert Horry. My name, I'm taking these two, charge it to the team.
All right, so
but he paid for them himself, though.
Part two.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it.
Part two of the story. Chris comes back with his wallet, goes to the Braves clubhouse store, presents them with cash. The Braves clubhouse store associate goes, "We don't take cash." And Chris Sale goes, I started here on Saturday night. My name's Chris
for real,
Sale.
that happened?
I play for the team, and they were like, "Oh my God, sorry, go ahead, take them."
Wait.
But well, the clubhouse store doesn't take cash, and all he had was cash.
Rob, that happened for real?
Yeah, that happened for real.
So you're telling me that people
Braves
in the
clubhouse store, he walked in to buy his jerseys. They didn't recognize him.
They didn't recognize him? Come on, dog.
Oh, but Chris is genuinely.
He sounds like a really nice
What
guy.
a nice dude, man. Like all time, we spent about 20 minutes in here, him and I just kind of shooting the shit. And
where's he from?
Don't know. Great question. We talked about his time in playing in Boston and when he's playing in Chicago. We were just talking about like, baseball and stuff, but all-time nice guy. Like all-time. Had a smile on his face, said hi to everybody, signed everything anybody asked him for, took 100 pictures, and never complained about any of it.
I bet he's from the South.
He may be. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up, but I mean,
that's
all
wild.
Time nice guy.
So they did not recognize him in the clubhouse store.
No, because they're like, "Sir, we don't take cash." And he's like, "My name's Chris Sale. I played. I started here on Saturday night. I stood out there and I pitched." And they were like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry."
So my thing is that baffles my mind because I'm sitting here like, was anybody else in that store that recognized him?
Somebody had
in the
to,
store?
right? Somebody had to. Let me see. Where's he from? He's from Lakeland, Florida.
That goes to show you why he was happy those kids recognized him.
Yeah. People in the store didn't even do it. They worked for the team. Anyway, so Chris Sale, good dude. All right, it is time. It's the return of Black Crime or White Crime. It has been a minute since we've played this, to Rob's point. So I wanted to bring it back. I got 7 stories. You just got to tell me, was the offender African-American or Caucasian? Very simple game. Here we go. Story number 1. A man dressed as Spider-Man allegedly shoplifted $10,000 worth of trading cards from a popular anime shop in Virginia earlier this month. He's accused of breaking into Gaming Giant and taking off with a stack of valuable cards while wearing a Spider-Man costume that covered his face. When they captured this man, was he a black guy or a white guy?
I'm gonna say white.
I say white, but Garrett White should be a black guy. But I say white guy because I don't. Spider-Man. I say white.
All right. Well, I implore both of you to get acquainted with Miles Morales, who is the Black Spider-Man, because this was Joel Brown, a 20-year-old black man.
I told you, I knew it was gonna be a black guy.
Tell you. All right. Story number 2. It's probably best after you rob a bank to like maybe take off, maybe not hang out front and count your cash. That's all you got away with. Well, this suspect got arrested not once for doing that, but now twice. So this same guy got arrested for robbing the same bank 5 years ago for doing the same thing. Robbed the bank, sat out front, counted his money. He gets out of jail, gets on parole, robs the same bank, sits out front, counts his money, gets arrested again. Black guy,
Better not be a
white
brother.
guy.
I'm gonna say.
Better not be a brother.
I'm gonna say black.
I'm go white.
Oh, Rob's going white guy. This was Michael Gale Nash, arguably one of the whitest names in the game. Yeah, 49-year-old
okay.
white guy, so that's a point for
All right.
Rob. Yeah, absolutely. That's a white dude. Just hang I was say, sit here and count my
People can't
money.
be that damn dumb.
Just sit here and count my money. See what I made out with. That's all, man.
Well, not all of us, but
All right.
some.
Let's move on. Story number 3. A wanted man successfully evaded authorities for almost a year after committing $1 million in fraud. How did they catch him? He popped up on Match.com. He started a dating profile. He was looking for love. Well, he made away with a whopping $970,000 in scams. And he dodged court. He got a warrant out for his arrest. Cops were looking for him. They found him on Match.com. Black guy, white guy.
White guy.
All right, Rob's going white guy. Rob's leaning heavy on the Caucasians this week.
I'm gonna go black.
Harper goes black. This was Wayne Parker, a 35-year-old white man.
Dang.
Rob is just.
Hey, I mean, black folks, do embezzlement, man.
I don't know any. I don't know any.
I know
to your
three
point,
people, they're all white.
To your point, it feels like a very white guy crime. You're right. You're right.
True,
Okay.
true.
That's the whole point of the game. All right. Story number 4. Speaking of bumbling burgers, a home security camera captured the moment when a would-be thief's foot got caught in a fence and he was left dangling upside down outside of a house he was trying to rob. Amazingly, he got free, tried to hop the fence again, got tangled again, and got stuck there, and then that's when they caught him. So he got free, tried to go over the same fence and got caught a second time. This is like the idiot that got caught counting the money in front of the bank twice. Black guy, white guy.
That's a brother.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. That's black.
Harper begrudgingly agrees. And you're both going to get a point. Yeah, that was a black guy.
Yeah.
I caught him in the same fence twice. All right. This
I
guy.
don't see white guys jumping too many fences, man. There's always the brothers jumping the fences.
Yeah, but usually the brothers clear the fences.
Oh, that's great. That's the line of the day for me. Holy shit. All right. Story number 5.
Brothers clear the fences. Is the
Brothers,
title of this?
title of this week's show, Brothers Clear the Fences. Just saying. All right. I hate porch pirates. I hate them. I think they suck. They like, as far as criminals go, you guys suck. So it brings my heart joy to know that this guy failed at it because he didn't have his pants pulled up high enough. Home security camera caught him trying to steal off of someone's porch in Colorado Springs. And as he runs off, the pants just slide down his hips. He gets caught up, trips, falls, loses his pants, loses the package. Neighbors come out, and he hops on a motorcycle and he books it out of there. So he was foiled by the fact that he should have bought a belt. Black guy or white guy?
I'm gonna say. I want to say white.
I
Okay.
want to say white too.
Okay.
I really want to say
You both
white.
want to say it, but you're not saying it.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's white.
Okay,
It's
all
white.
right.
I'm gonna say white.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it too, white. Because it's like when you think about sagging, you always think about brothers. So that's the only thing I'm thinking about. It might be a brother, but I'm gonna go white guy. Because you said Springs, Colorado
Okay.
Springs.
Colorado Springs was the clue for you. All right.
What's up, motherfuckers?
Yeah, you're both right. Yeah, it was a white guy. Good job.
No.
All right. Story number 6. A woman busted in Massachusetts outside of Boston. She got caught for drunk driving because the cops found her driving her SUV with the gas pump and the nozzle still hanging out of it. She drove off from the gas station. The cops only pulled her over because she was driving with the giant gas thing hanging out of the car and the pump still in the thing, and then realized when they pulled her over, oh yeah, she's hammered. She was arrested. She was charged with operating under the influence of liquor, neglectful operations of a motor vehicle, and open container. Black woman, white woman.
I'm gonna go black woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Harper's
I'm gonna go black
agreeing.
women. Yeah.
Now, this is Alicia Esquilin, a 24-year-old white woman.
Alicia?
Alicia. Alicia's a white girl name, too. I know a lot of white girls named
Well,
Alicia.
wait a minute. We just had a white dude
Alicia,
named
not
Wayne.
Felicia.
One of my best friends is white named Dwayne.
You don't know a lot of. Ain't a lot of.
I don't know a lot of white
folks named
Dwaynes.
Dwayne.
No, I really don't.
and Dwayne best friends all black.
Exactly.
Exactly. They only hang out with him because they just, well, Dwayne, he's got to be black, right? All right.
Yeah, ain't a lot of them.
I'll tell you what. All right, last story. A young man attempted to rob a store in Oklahoma, armed with a miniature baseball bat. He brought the tiny little mini baseball bat up to the register, demanded that the cashiers hand over the money, threatened him with the little tiny bat. They refused, and they laughed until he fled. And the police are still looking for him, but they have him on security camera with that tiny little free giveaway bat that you get at the baseball game. That, black guy, white guy.
That's a white guy. Oh, shit.
Harper is thinking. The wood is burning.
I'm going to say white.
Okay, so you're both saying white.
I'm gonna regret it.
And
though.
you're both wrong. You're right.
Yeah,
You're going to
I'm
regret
done.
it instantly. It was a black guy. Yeah, it's a black guy.
I'm gonna regret it.
And that was the last question in Black Crime or White Crime this week. So I just don't know how you did. Like, if you're going to go rob a place, why is the first thing you grab the tiniest baseball bat you can find?
I know. You could grab a damn limb off a tree.
I mean, anything, right? Anything is better than this little.
you better off taking a bottle.
Yeah, for real. At least you can smack that and it's sharp. I mean, what the hell are you going to do with that tiny little
Exactly.
baseball bat, man?